How are you this evening? I hope everyone is well. So, welcome to Marriage Beyond the Breach. We have another hot topic for you tonight. And as always, I want to invite you to subscribe, share. I might be saying that again. So, Lavi,
Yes.
what are we talking about tonight? What,
I just messing with you.
What are we talking about tonight?
Micro cheating.
Micro cheating. And I got to be honest with you. That is a term that I heard for the first time probably maybe 3 months ago because I had no idea what it was. And I don't remember how I came across it. I think I might have been researching something for one of the couples that I counsel, and I came across an article that spoke about micro cheating, and I'm wondering what the heck is that? So that's what we're going to be talking about this evening. I got our awesome Marriage Beyond the Breach panelists on this evening. So if you are listening, give a shout out to our awesome panelists. We have Nicole Brown Young. Hey, Nick.
Hey, how's everybody doing this evening?
We got the dynamic duo, Rock and Toya Davis. Hey,
y'all. Hey,
everybody. We got my amazing, beautiful mother of my grandchildren, my daughter-in-law, Eladrisi Chase Esquire.
Hello.
And last but not least, the amazing, dynamic, prayer warring sister from New York, and happened to be my baby sis, none other than Jacqueline Lawrence. Hey, sis.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Angel. Thank you for watching. So anyone who is on with us right now, just drop something in the chat, make a comment, let us know where you are tuning in from. So we are going to talk about micro cheating. So technically, what are you doing with the screen, babe? You always got to be messing with something. I mean, they can see your head. You can't see it because that's on the screen, but that's not on their screen, baby.
Okay.
See, if he didn't have that Chase head, he wouldn't be so worried about people being now. So, Liz, you know, because you got 2 children, you're married to a Chase man, and he got a Chase head, and your children got a Chase head. So y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely.
So anyway, technically speaking, micro cheating is defined as some so-called, and I say so-called, small acts with someone outside of your committed relationship that doesn't involve sexual intercourse. So from your perspective, what are some things that you feel fall into the category of micro cheating? And anyone can hop on in.
All right, so I thought about this today, and I'm gonna say my form of micro cheating is a work husband or wife.
Okay.
You know, a lot of work husbands and work wives are not on the approval list of their spouses. And so they'll find themselves, making it a key moment around the office where they're calling each other, yeah, that's my work husband.
Yeah. So, who else wants to before you dive in, I just want to give a shout out to another Jacqueline Lawrence. See, it says you thought you were the only one, but there's another Jacqueline Lawrence here. Thank you for tuning in, Miss Jackie.
You sure I'm not on there twice?
No, because she's in the comment. It's a sister that I met in one of the groups on Facebook. So thank you for tuning in, sis. So who else wants to chime in? What do you think falls into the category of micro cheating?
I would say anything that you are getting from someone else that you should be getting from your spouse. Monetary contributions from the opposite sex, I feel, is micro cheating.
Okay.
So, anything emotional support.
That's good. Anybody else?
From reading the articles, because of course I admit this is a term that's new to me as well. It seems like from reading the articles that it's something that that occurs in your relationship that is in a way disrespectful to your spouse and they don't like it, but you continue to do it. That's why I'm here to learn a little bit more about that, because I'm like, if the other person is okay with it, then fine. But if they're not and you continue to do it, it seems seems like it's just disrespect to the person that you say you love and that you're in a committed relationship with.
Yeah, that's good. Jack?
Yeah, and in addition to that, Nicole, is also when your significant other doesn't know about the other person. So you can say, oh, well, we're just friends. Taiwan used the words work wife or work husband. Or, oh, well, we're just friends. So it's okay if it's 10, 11 o'clock at night because he's just my friend or she's just my friend and we're just having a conversation. Or there are emails or text messages that are being exchanged, but your significant other doesn't know about it. Right. But we do, let me not say we. People do it under the term of, oh, that's just my friend.
Yeah. And I heard someone say once that when you have to put just in front of a friend, then that might already be indicative of a problem. Because if you're talking to your spouse, you're saying, oh, that's just a friend, then that might be because your spouse has inquired about what is the relationship between you and that other individual.
Right.
Liz, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, when I thought about this topic, I think everyone here hit the nail on the head. It's one of those things that it's hard to articulate one thing that's micro cheating. But for me, it was something that was like, it just doesn't pass the field test. So when you're doing it, it just doesn't, in your gut of guts that this is not right. So it just doesn't pass that test. You know that your significant other would not like you to be doing this, whatever, how minute, how insignificant it may be, it just doesn't pass that field test in your gut. And that was really kind of like my takeaway from, what I think micro cheating is.
Yeah. And thinking about the part that social media plays in our lives nowadays, because for a lot of people, it's a big part of their life. So what about when you see a certain picture your partner does, and let's say it's a certain individual or certain types of pictures that are provocative or sexual in nature, and they're interacting with that individual who is posting that picture? Do you think something like that falls into the category of micro cheating?
You mean like liking a picture?
Not just liking the picture, but attempting to interact with that person by commenting or asking something about them that is not, that doesn't appear to be innocent, that can be misconstrued in a way.
I mean, if any form of flirtation outside of your marriage is cheating. Outside of your relationship is cheating.
Yeah.
When anything that you do in action that your spouse, your spouse won't approve of, or you're being sneaky, is, I mean, we calling it micro cheating, but micro cheating or cheating.
Yeah. Yeah. And Miss Jackie said that her ex said that the woman was just a friend. Now her ex and that person are married and they have 2 children, and obviously Miss Jackie is divorced from that individual. So that's a good example, Miss Jackie, that your ex-husband said that this individual was just a friend, but apparently she was a whole lot more than just a friend for them to end up not just married, but now they have 2 children together. So, Lovey, what about?
I don't know about that.
Go ahead.
That could have happened years after.
Yeah.
So you can't. I wouldn't say at that time when he said that she was just a friend, it was anything more than that. I mean, the fact that they had a friendship after the divorce, maybe years later, because of their friendship, something else developed.
I guess that could happen, but
yeah,
probably not.
I agree with that. I actually agree with that, because I've seen that happen a few times where a friend is just a friend. And sometimes when, if they certain people, they know your situation, they may play their part at that time. But if that relationship dissolves,
that
friendship turns into something else.
So what I'm wondering if that will fall into the category of kind of a back burner relationship. You have this person on the back burner, you're ace in the hole, or whatever you may call. What's another phrase you may use? Just in case. This is a just in case. You know, you have insurance just in case something happened. Sometimes you can have a person in a relationship with them on the back burner as a just in case whatever relationship you're currently in don't work out. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, not necessarily. I said initially friend. Now, if you're dealing with someone who's air quote back burner, that's micro cheating. That means you have someone on the side who's willing to wait till your situation dissolves, who's willing to wait till your situation dissolves and makes a decision on if they want to be with you or not. Versus what I'm saying is sometimes you have friends who are just that, you start to view them differently, especially when you're single and they're always there for you. Then, essentially you I guess play with the idea of being in a relationship in your head, then it comes to fruition, and then, you end up being together. So sometimes, people have motives and sometimes they don't.
Yeah. Because you're absolutely right. It could be an innocent friendship that after one of them breaks up from their primary relationship, and then they start spending more time together and doing things together and start looking at each other differently. That's one scenario. Another scenario could be where one of them has no intentions at all of anything happening, and one of them, whether it's the person in a relationship or the friend, is kind of laying in the cut, so to speak, and the other one doesn't know. But they're just hoping that the other person's relationship doesn't work out so that they can kind of jump in. Leave that, Frank. Why you mess with my stuff on my desk? Why you mess with my thing? I got posters on my desk, right? And he lifted them all up. They ain't bothering him. And what about a situation where someone who was in a relationship and in a committed relationship has some sort of dating profile?
No, man.
That's cheating. I don't think there's anything micro about that. That's major.
Right.
I mean, that's as major as it gets. That says you're out there, you're looking to date somebody else. I mean, that's cheating.
There's no micro about that. What about someone who is married or in a committed relationship, but on their social media profile, they are indicate that they are single, that they don't indicate that they are in a relationship? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I personally don't think I have that on my profile. I'm not even sure, to be honest, because I'm not very interactive with my profile. I keep it very plain for kind of work purposes. So I don't know that necessarily is indicative of things. I don't know, I think the people that know me and can look at the pictures and things know things, but I don't know that having that status out there is necessarily cheating or micro cheating in any way or necessarily indicative.
I would agree. If you put on there, if you're married and you put single, that's a problem. But if you just have a profile and you don't say, okay, don't say you're married, but all your pictures and everything else is like you said, Liz, all your pictures are an indication of what kind of relationship you're in. To me, I think that's fine.
Yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with what Frankie said, because the pictures speak for themselves. I'm with Liz. Well, I am single. I have no idea what my status. I don't even know if I put a status for a relationship because I've been single for so long. So it's not something that I even think about. But if you are married and you're not someone who posts pictures on a regular basis, like I don't post a lot. So let's say if I were married, I don't post a lot of family pictures like people who shall remain nameless.
Guilty as charged.
My status, I would make sure that it said married.
Okay.
Right. So I think it's more about the intention of the person and what's the message that you want to put out to everyone else. Like nobody anybody who does not know Valerie would know without a shadow of a doubt that she's married to the Cookie Man. Right? Like if you go on her page, everybody's going to know that because it's so obvious. So it's the intention and what is the message that you want to put out.
Yeah, yeah. But if you are married or in a committed relationship and there's no pictures of your significant other that you post on the page and then your status says single, then
that's a problem.
That could send a different message.
Correct.
Yes, that's what means this?
Yes.
Okay. And what about, let's say there's someone that you know is interested in you and they're flirting with you and you kind of entertain their flirtation.
That's cheating.
That's cheating.
That's cheating.
That's straight up. Okay.
There ain't nothing micro about that. It's cheating.
Ooh,
You're entertaining. Yeah. You're entertaining something outside of your relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're bringing attention to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that is that's dangerous to do things like that because you're kind of playing with the other person. Let's say you have no intention of having a further involvement with that individual, but you know they like you and they're flirting with you and you entertain that. You're playing with the other person and you're running the risk of damaging your own relationship.
Correct.
Yeah, some people like the attention of it. You know, the idea that somebody other than their partner wants them.
Yes, that's good.
You know, I particularly like to make it very clear, and my friends will contest, will agree that when we go out, I make it very vocal. I am a married man. I don't want to be tested. I don't want to be put in any situation. So I make it very known. It doesn't matter where I am, that I am a married man.
That's good. And I like what you said about not putting yourself in certain situations because a lot of times I think, and Frank and I have had this conversation, that sometimes we overestimate our ability to resist temptation. And therefore, I think it's wise to avoid putting ourselves in certain compromising situations where we might put that to the test. You know, I love the Cookie Man and all, but if Idris Elba catch me on the right day,
Toya is Morris Chestnut.
Yeah, Morris Chestnut too. Absolutely. That's Jackie's crush. That's Jackie's crush.
Right.
Yeah, but seriously, no, I think we do have to avoid putting ourselves into certain compromising situations where there is a potential of us not being able to resist whatever temptation is in front of us, especially if it's during a period where our spouse and I are going through some difficulties, or the person with whom you're in a relationship, if the two of you are going through some sort of difficulties at that time. That's when you really, really need to protect the relationship even more so and make wiser decisions. What are your thoughts, babe?
I have to step off.
Oh, you got to step off for a minute? Okay. Cookie Man hasn't been feeling well for today, so he's got to step off for a minute. Okay, so that just give me more room. So obviously from the comments that you've made, you think that micro cheating is not acceptable in a relationship. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Accurate.
I mean, it has the word has cheating in it. So you have to make a decision on if you want to be all the way in or all the way out.
Yep. You
I like
can't dip your toe in.
Yeah, me and Toya had this discussion a couple of months ago about celebrity, and I was telling her, a lot of us don't know what our actions or reactions would be in a celebrity setting when the world sees you and you have so many different entities trying to come at you. whether it be nice looking women, married women, women in relationship, all these different type of things, and it's constant. And you know, I always tell her like I just don't like spotlight. So a lot of I don't want to be in those positions for my relationship to be tested, or so I just don't put myself in those situations.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a challenge for people who have a celebrity status or who are very well known. I think that's a challenge for them, especially for the men, probably for the women also. But I know, well, let me rephrase that. I don't know, but I imagine that when there is a man who is well known, whether he's an entertainer, whether he's an athlete or something else that has him in the public eye and he's extremely well known, you know, these women out here, they don't care.
Sure don't.
No, they don't.
They'll throw themselves right at the man. Yep. You know, I remember, I know I'm going to date myself, but I remember you guys, Jackie may remember him, the singer Tom Jones from back in the day. And he used to talk all the time how women would actually throw their panties up on stage.
Yep.
They try to meet celebrities backstage and give them the room key to their hotel room and that sort of thing. So I think those individuals have to really, really not just be on guard, but to be really super committed to their partner.
So one thing about me when I was on a number of tours, I would not be in a relationship. And just from a management standpoint or a staff standpoint, I knew what I was getting. So I can only imagine the headliner or the celebrity, you know, that I was dealing with at the time, what they were getting. And you know, at that time it was pressure for me. So you know, when you come across these guys, like you know, for instance, like Jay-Z has one of the most beautiful, talented, you know, queen of music, all these accolades of a woman, a wife, and he cracked under the pressure. He's not the nicest looking man, but I'm gonna tell you this: Jay-Z is, when I say his swagger is A1. He's very classy, very well articulated, and he has an aura of him that represents power.
Yes.
Every time he walks into a room, people feel the presence of him being there.
Yeah.
And you would think that someone who's like that can
say no.
Yeah. No. You know, be like, no, I don't want to. No, he cracked under the pressure as well. After having Beyonce. You know, so.
And you know something you said that is key, because listen, with men, it really don't matter what you look like. You could look like Scooby-Doo, but if you have money and power, it's going to attract women who will practically fall at your feet.
Yes.
You know, that's one thing about being a man. It don't matter what you look like. You know, for us women, it matters a bit more.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, it matters a bit more because the men are more visual, but the women, listen, don't care what you look like. Because, you know, like you said, Rock, he has money and power, but he ain't the cutest one in the crayon box. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
but he knows it. Yeah, he knows it.
Yeah, I'm sure. So let me ask you this. When it comes to an emotional affair, do you believe that micro cheating is kind of on par with an emotional affair? And do you think what do you think is worse, an emotional affair or when someone is having sexual intercourse with another person?
Ooh.
Well, definitely for me, I would say emotional. Emotional is way more damaging than physical. Most men are capable of having a physical relationship and walking away from it.
Absolutely.
Their mind, their heart is not in it. Their mind is, and
Mm,
it's always the act that they, when they do the act, is more of a conquering thing. It's never an
mhm.
emotional thing. Now,
Right.
if a man is emotionally, or a woman, but in this case, if a man is emotionally attached to a situation, it's very dangerous.
Yeah. And hardest to
Because
walk away from.
very hard to walk away from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I always recommend that, if they maintain this emotional relationship, leave immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
I think the emotional relationship is worse too, because a lot of times when you have the emotional cheating, you have an aspect of denial, because it's like, well, I'm not physical with this person. I haven't crossed that line. So is it really cheating? Am I cheating,
mhm.
or is it just I'm being friendly or some other? A lot of people, do things to kind of justify what they're doing. Oh,
Yeah.
it's just my work husband. I'm just talking to him about work.
Yeah.
It's not really emotional cheating or whatever the case may be. So I do think that
Mm,
emotionally cheating is worse than the physical, because there's that aspect of denial, and that you'll still,
yeah.
be with
Yeah.
your husband or significant other and not even realize that you're really, cheating.
Yeah. Nicole, what are your thoughts
Yeah.
on that?
Oh, you can go ahead, Jackie. So you don't lose
Go
your
ahead,
train of
Jackie.
No, go
thought.
You want
ahead.
to go to Nicole?
Yeah. No, you
Well,
already had your thought. I go ahead.
I do agree that emotional is worse for women. Before a physical affair happens, the emotional comes in first. And
I
that's
believe
one
that.
of the things that men misunderstand about women. When they get us emotionally, it's hard to walk away, because
Mm-hmm.
once we connect with a man that way, it's pretty much a done deal. And so
Yeah. Yeah.
emotional will always, in my opinion, and from experience, will always be worse than a physical, because
Yeah.
the two go hand in hand for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Nick, what were you going to
Yeah,
say?
I do agree with that. Emotional scene it's a lot worse because you're giving your heart and your emotion. You're giving them a little more than it's not over when you put your clothes back on.
Right.
Your
Right.
emotion, yeah, you're still sneaking and doing that little thing. With physical, you can not you can cut it off, but you're done. But when you got emotions involved, you shared it. Yeah, it's hard to sever those kind of ties, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean it takes time to get there too. You've invested a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more. Because it might be like a
Absolutely.
spur of the moment thing when you do the physical thing, everybody's doing this. Not turn up. What is it called? When they just
Tinder.
have, they just sleep with somebody at a party or something like that, and it's done and gone. Yeah,
A
they
one
take
night stand.
yeah something like
Yeah.
that. But
Mm-hmm.
the most you spent some time, you done put some little investment in there, and
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. And yeah, you give, in my opinion, in my experience, you're giving the person a piece of your heart, so it's hard
Yeah.
to. And you're taking something from your relationship and put it in another place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
it's emotional.
Yeah. And Ms. Jackie said that an emotional affair could be a gateway to the physical
Oh,
part.
definitely.
Absolutely.
And a lot of
Mhm.
times that's what happens. Very rarely, I believe, does an emotional affair um, end at being just emotional.
Right.
Right.
Because if they continue on seeing each other and being involved, eventually the sex is going to become a part of that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't imagine having an emotional affair or emotional attachment with someone with whom you are not physically attracted. Yeah,
Mhm.
Right.
I agree. I do think that an emotional affair is worse. I remember then this is going back 40 years. Okay, me and the Cookie Man been together 42 years, and well, maybe I won't say that. But anywho, yeah, I think the emotional affair is worse because it was just something I said to him the first year of our marriage. Remember, this was 42 years ago.
Okay.
Something I said to him in the early days of our marriage, if you're going to step out, just go and get ding, 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 that, and come on home. But Yeah, I'm not gonna say, Jackie. I think you know what I said, but
Yeah, don't say that.
thank you. I'm not gonna say that, but Frank is back there laughing because he remembers what I said to him. You remember?
Not verbatim, but I can only imagine.
Okay.
So, what are some of the signs of micro cheating? Whether you're the micro cheater or whether you're the one that's being cheated on, what are some of the signs?
We just talked about this
Yeah, we
yesterday.
just talked about this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, we both said that we notice a change in the pattern, the way they do things.
Mm,
Whether it's the tone of their voice, their attentiveness,
mm,
just how they respond to you,
mm-hmm.
their mannerisms. So Rock said, he was like, people call it intuition, but it's not so much intuition, is that we notice
Yeah,
exactly how you're acting with us.
right.
So we kind of know something is up, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's a good point because everybody has a pattern or an MO, so to speak, or a way in which
mhm,
you show up in a relationship. And when you've been together for a while, you get to know what your partner's patterns are.
mhm,
Each other, get to know what each other's. And when there's a deviation, sometimes that can absolutely be a red flag, and maybe that's the time to sort of check in. Let's talk about and see if there's something going on. So
Mhm.
yeah, who else has a comment?
I think if you're defensive about something, like a
Mm,
question that your significant other has posed, if you come at that with defensiveness about, oh no, that's just a friend, or oh, or can I see your phone? No, 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 you can't, and you're really defensive. Then it's like, to me, there's something there, to hide or something. So
okay.
I think that's definitely a sign.
Yeah, I agree with Liz. And like you said, Val, the patterns are there.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
when, it could be a different cologne or a different perfume, or
Yeah.
just the way that your partner,
Look at
their
that.
dress has
Think about
changed.
that.
You begin to
Yeah.
you
I'm
begin to
trying some new cologne and I'm
notice,
cheating.
or one of
Right.
one of the all-time
well, if
favorites.
that's the case, Rock, let me tell you something.
Ah,
Because
Maybe I'm cheating on you.
you cheat? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, y'all.
It's funny Jack mentioned cologne because during the time that Frank and I was separated, I called his cheating cologne because there was a particular cologne he used to wear when I knew he was cheating and I couldn't stand it. I told him, listen, I don't come around me with that cologne on. That was his cheating cologne.
I remember it, but that didn't have to be the case. I might have
But
just
it
liked
didn't have to be, but it was. Okay.
Well, listen. So the story goes with Shakira, the artist Shakira,
Yeah.
that she found out that her boyfriend was cheating because her jam was missing. The only person that ate jam in the house was her.
Mm.
Their kids didn't eat it, and her boyfriend didn't eat it. And all of a sudden, like, she's out, she's working, and there's no more jam. So she asked him, like, where's the jam? Like, I'm not here. Who's eating the jam?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what are you talking about? And like, Liz said, he got defensive. And she was like, none of you eat jam. So who's eating the jam?
Right.
And eventually found out he was bringing this woman over, having breakfast with her, and she was eating her jam.
Wow. You see,
Mhm.
simple as
Instead of
that.
just saying it was spoiled.
Right?
Yeah. And that's why.
But
Go ahead, Rock. What we saying?
I said instead of just saying it went bad or it's spoiled, he got defensive. So
Hmm.
what happens is a lot of times people, again, when you know their patterns, and I agree with Liz, you get super defensive over a conversation, a phone, about there are a lot of guilty
yeah.
actions that people do.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
everybody has a tell.
I
Okay.
was just
Oh
gonna
I
yeah.
say
know
that.
Frank's tell, and he keeps asking me all the time, and I ain't telling him because I want to know when the boy lying. Okay. And he does the same thing every single time he tells a lie. We all have a tell.
Yep.
And if you know your partner well enough, you can pick up on what their tell is. I don't know if you know my tell. You don't? Do you know my?
I know your tell.
You know my tell? Okay.
But I ain't telling you what your tell is.
Toya don't know how to lie.
Because I don't.
There you go.
We're just not good at it.
Yeah, I don't like this.
That's good.
Yeah, no.
I got to a place in my life where I just feel like I don't have anything to lie about.
Listen, I done been through too much in these 40 something years to be trying to go through lying about anything to anyone. Like I'm not doing that. Like that last discussion that we had about lying, it's too much time and pressure and nope.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah,
And,
that is so good. I'm first, let me say this to Toya and Rock. I love to hear, and y'all remind me of Val and Frankie. I love to hear when you say, well, we just had a conversation about that, or the conversation that we had about that. And I tell Val and Frank on more than one occasion, there were times where I would be at their house when my children were younger, and something that I always wanted in my own relationship, they would sit down on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and they would sit at the table after we all had breakfast, and they had a conversation about what went on during the week, what needed to be done for the coming up week. And so when I hear the two of you, I think about that. And I completely lost my train of thought. But when you say that, because I can tell you from experience, when we lie, it takes so much energy to remember the lie with another lie. Because you got to keep lying now. Because you have to keep remembering what you said. That is so draining. And at this stage of my life being single, I'd rather stay that way if God is not going to place somebody in my life that I can trust and who will trust me. Because it takes too much. And I wanted to tell you that, Toya and Rock, because I love y'all. And I think y'all are doing the thing for real.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But you guys are all hitting it on the head, because I believe we should trust our gut, trust our instinct, trust our intuition, and not allow ourselves to be gaslighted by our partner, because a lot of times the one who's cheating will say, what are you talking about? You crazy. You making up stuff. Ain't none of that stuff happen. And we kind of can tell in our gut. We know what is happening because we know our partner, and we can tell when hold on, I gotta get up here, when they're lying. So sometimes just trust your instinct. Okay,
right?
And who was that president? Oh my goodness,
Nixon.
No, later than him.
Clinton.
Oh my God, dark hair. Reagan. One of his phrases was trust but verify. Trust but verify. And if you have a notion that your partner is cheating, maybe time to verify. Maybe do a little investigation. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what someone should do. I just know that's what I did.
I'm not big on investigations. I'm very big on what's done in the dark will come to light. It always has. I try to be as honest. Well, we try to be as honest as possible with each other. And thank you, Aunt Jackie, for saying that. It's really based on the things that we grew up with, the things that we've seen, the things that we've experienced, and we decided. We made a decision that we wanted to be better than that. And so, a lot of people, they came at us in the beginning, well, especially me, in the beginning of our marriage, like, you get married? You get married? And I'm like, yeah, like
and they would say that in front of me, and it was so annoying.
I can't believe
every time he would see a friend that he hasn't seen in a while or somebody, this your wife? For real? You really got married? And I'm looking at them like, yo, I'm standing right here. Like, you gonna say that in front of me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, they did.
But the thing is, and I just be like, she's amazing. But then now that my friend, some of them that haven't, who are not always around, they experience being around her, and they's like, okay, I see why you
I
married her.
see why. Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
it just makes sense. So, and it's even with them, I have to tell them like I don't go certain places. Like I was big in the strip club and all that other stuff. And every now and again, like they'll invite me, and I'll be like, I'll just come to be around. But then it'd be times I'll be like, yeah, I don't want to spend no money. We got bills to pay. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like I said, I just believe in being upfront and just
Mhm.
keeping it 100. And we even talked about like cheating.
Yeah.
We talked about cheating, and I was just like, I rather tell you what my feelings are before an action.
Like I've been cheated on in every single relationship that I had, which was what, 1, 2, 3. And the
Mhm.
thing is, the way you feel, I would never want to put someone else through that. The lies, the this and that, because I know how I felt,
Yeah.
and I never went into anything saying, well, everyone else is cheating, well, I'm gonna do it too, which to me is, doesn't make any sense. But
Mhm.
it's the experiences that you have to me that will help you in your next relationship, or it should help you in your next relationship. Like no one wants to feel like that. And that was pretty much like our discussion
Yeah,
as
Mhm.
far
and
as
it was really based on like even my last relationship, she cheated,
Mm. Mhm.
and the thing was like one thing about me, like once you do something to purposely try to hurt me, you died in my mind.
Mm. Mhm.
Anything and everything about you has died.
Yeah, yeah.
So her what she thought was micro cheating, I'm looking at her like you are really this dumb.
Mm.
You're
you,
about to be on the street.
so you didn't feel it was micro cheating.
No,
You
it was
felt it was full blown
for me. It was full blown cheating
cheating.
because I felt like I'm so amazing for you to even try to play these
You know
games.
what?
Like my wife knows, she's like I'm
Uh,
amazing.
Yes.
So for
yeah.
you to go out here and try to play these little games and lie on my name and all this kind of
Mhm.
stuff. In my mind, whatever little things that she was doing, to me was full blown cheating.
But
Yeah.
the lies eventually catch up with
And
the
it
person.
caught up to her. Because the
Yeah.
Yeah.
people that she was lying to, they was like, yeah, that don't sound right.
Yeah. But
And
yeah.
I don't believe you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Your character makes uh you
Big.
know is your presentation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rock, I do agree with what you said earlier, because things always have a way of revealing themselves,
Yep.
of coming to light. And
Mm-hmm.
when Frank and I reconciled, when we got back together, and I said this to Frank too. I said, listen, I trust you, but even if I don't, I trust God to let me know what I need to know from day to
Absolutely,
day. I
100%. Yep.
trust
Mm-hmm.
God to let me know what I need to know in order to protect myself.
Right.
Absolutely. Right.
You're
Val,
And
I
I
just
absolutely.
want
searched I
to
searched for nothing. It just kept revealing itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think you have to ever search. I think people know. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I really don't think you really have to search, because honestly, it's the way you treat me. If I feel that you're not treating me the same and you're not going to continue to treat me the same, I'm not going to want to be with you anyway.
Right.
right.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't matter at that point. Jackie,
Right.
you were about to say something?
Yeah, you had said earlier about trusting your gut. And that's true. But on the flip side, when both parties are micro cheating or cheating,
Yeah.
neither one of them can trust their guts at that point because they're
Mm.
so busy trying to hide what each one
Their
is
own
doing,
stuff.
they're
Yeah.
no longer in tune.
Mm. Okay. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Lovey.
What are your thoughts on flirting? What are your thoughts on flirting?
Oh, he just said, well, cheating.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Does
believe
anybody
I
else think
believe
that flirting is cheating?
Yes, because I think it sends mixed signals that you're available. If you're in a relationship, you don't want to hurt that person. You're happy in your relationship. You're not out there looking. You're not flirting. You're sending a signal that I'm available. I like you. You're not so be liking nobody else if you married or you in a committed relationship. And you definitely, when you know you can't tell your partner you're doing it, you won't do it in front of your partner, and you know it's going to hurt them. It's cheating.
Yeah, that is so key what you just said. And you see people who flirt, but let them be out with their lady, they with whoever, they just so innocent. And I'm just looking at them like,
yeah.
What
do you think, Liz?
I mean, I absolutely agree. I think you should have the same mannerisms that you would have in front of your partner when you're without them. If you, like for example, Mama Chase, you're a very outgoing person. You talk to a lot of people. No one would be surprised that you said hello or was kind to a stranger. But you would do that right in front of, with Frank as well. It's not anything different. It's not that you wouldn't do, say hello or, do something like that. Only when he wasn't there. So I think it's those behaviors. If you will do them in front of your spouse, then go ahead and do them. But if it's something where I would never do this in front of my spouse, I wouldn't act like this. I'm trying to get something for this. And it's flirting, it's wrong, and it doesn't pass the field test. It doesn't pass the gut test.
Yeah. And you know what? You're absolutely right, Liz. And Frank and I have had conversations about that too, because I am so friendly and I talk to everybody. But I behave the same way, whether he's there or whether he's not. And there have been times when he and I have been together and I've seen a guy with something on, and I'll go up and I'll tell him, that looks really nice. Where'd you get that? Because I want my husband to wear it.
That's
I want
to.
Yeah.
He's so outgoing. He talks to everyone. He's kind to everyone, men, women, or whatever. I don't feel any type of way if he's out by himself or he's talking to somebody, because that's just how he is with everybody.
Exactly.
So like I initially said, when I'm out and about it, I make it very clear I'm a married man. So I do that a lot just so there's no misconstrued about what my position is. I don't want anybody to feel any type of way. I'll talk to a man's wife right in front of him, but I include him in the conversation.
There you go.
Just so you won't, you're not gonna feel away. My wife is right. I speak to any and everybody. I just believe in that.
Yeah. And that's a good point you made, because I will do the same thing. If let's say there's a guy that I know and he's with his wife, and I'm going to go over and say hello, I'm going to speak to the wife first. And especially if I don't know her, hi, my name is Valerie. How you doing? And then I might say, hey, so and so and so and so. I always include their partner, whoever they're with, in that conversation. I would never go up to a guy who's with his woman, whether it's his woman or just someone that he's dating for that evening or whatever. I would never do that and exclude that woman from the conversation.
So what do you guys feel about social media, like text messages? Would you text the other sex, say if it's even just something minuscule, or would you include your spouse on that? Like, I know a lot of with micro cheating, that's a lot of things, and how it gets started. I was just texting so and so's dad or something like that, and then it goes into flirting or something like that. So it's I think those are examples of how people can cross the line and think it's innocent, but really it's like, I wouldn't do this if I was out in public in front of my husband, or so.
Well, just regular communication via Instagram or Messenger, I don't care, because we both have mutual friends who are married or together in relationships. So my woman friends, I don't want to offend anybody say female, but my women friends, female friends, they will contact him and talk to him because they want his perspective on things. They don't ask me, can they talk to him, because it's fine. Like, we're all friends. Our male friends can reach out to me for something and it's fine. And it's because we trust each other and we trust the friends that we have. So I don't consider that micro cheating, and I don't need him to tell me like, oh, I spoke to such and such today about such I don't really need that. I don't really care. Like, as long as you helping her with something, it's fine, because I trust him. So I don't consider that micro cheating. No.
Behaving that way requires, and obviously you two have, not just a high level of trust, but a high level of emotional maturity as well.
Correct.
Exactly.
Well,
Because there are some
that
people cannot
respect
do that.
Yeah.
is respect. There's choices.
Yeah.
Like we love what we have. Like you know, I always preach to my friends. I have a level of freedom. I don't have to report to my wife.
Yeah. No.
She doesn't have to report to me.
Yeah.
We trust each other enough that we won't disrespect our marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and we try to again. We communication is very important. So we try to communicate
Absolutely key.
what our feelings are. If not to say that it's never happened that where something has transpired and she's never felt the way, but she knows I can go to my husband and talk to him about it, or I can go to her and discuss it. So we don't have those issues, and that's one of the examples that we try to push on to others.
Yeah.
Because they certainly try to push on their views about how we should conduct in our marriage.
Yeah.
And ain't they
You
busy?
know, right? They're you know,
Yeah.
oh, you let your husband do that, or you let your wife go here. Let her.
Yeah.
She's a grown woman.
Right, right.
Yeah,
That's
You know,
absolutely. I agree.
Somebody asked me, would you have a problem with your friends, with your guy friends in the house with your wife? No, no. I trust her more than anything.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
And
know
I
something,
trust
it's not
trust
even
them.
it's even deeper. It's more than even trust. It's security. You're secure in yourselves as individuals, and you're secure in your relationship. Like there's a security that's there. And so it doesn't, to go back, because Liz, you were asking about sending messages, text messages. When you're secure in yourself and what you bring to your partner, what you give to your partner, and that security is reciprocated, that boundary will never be crossed.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyone who attempts to cross that boundary will be checked accordingly.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You gotta check them. And I believe, and this is my personal opinion, okay? If somebody tries to come on to me, I'm gonna check them first.
Yep.
But if they try it again, I'm gonna tell the cookie man and let him deal with it. Okay.
That's her.
Yeah.
That's her.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
At some point, you have to involve your partner. Because
Yeah.
you can't just keep saying, oh no, just stop. I don't want to hear from you. Don't text me, don't call me, whatever. No. I'm telling you one time. And if you don't get it, I'm gonna call the cookie man, and they don't want to deal with the cookie man. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very protective over my wife. You know, sometimes she'll deal with certain clients or men who feel like, they can interact any way they feel. And I let them, let her know, like, I'm right here, babe. Anytime you want me to take over, let me know.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I got it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's some male clients feel like as a woman, they can kind of, I don't know, not talk down to you, but kind of like almost like boss you around in a way that's like this is my business. Like, I don't work for you. Like, you're coming to me for business. So, watch how you talk to me. You know what I mean? So when it comes to a client like that, I'm like, you need to find business elsewhere, and then keep it moving.
Number of occasions, me helping her with her when she's doing catering, they'll come to me.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, no, she's the boss.
Yeah.
I'm just here to help.
Yeah.
Just so we know, just so we clear, she run this. Don't I say it just like that? I say she runs this. I'm just here.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. So let me ask you this. Probably will never happen, but let's say it's one of your partner's friends of the opposite gender, and of the opposite gender to you. And you've had conversations with them, and everything's been hunky-dory. There's been no problem. But then one day they say something or give you the impression that they are crossing the line. How, if at all, do you communicate that to your partner? What do you say to your partner? And it's their friend.
So my friend is crossing the line with him.
Yeah. Or vice
And
versa.
and I know this because
No, you don't know. You
knows
don't
it.
know yet. I'm wondering how Rock was going to handle that, or you would handle that. Rock's going to come and talk to you, or what? How's that going to transpire?
I'm probably going to check her first, and then I'm gonna tell my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really that clear. I'm gonna check you first, and then I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna tell my wife what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about her if she believes me or not, because she knows what I'm saying is what happened.
Yeah. I will. Yeah.
And vice
I think
versa.
the important thing too is I'm going to do it in real time. I'm not going to wait
Yep.
weeks or months or until we see the person again. Oh, hey, we're going out to brunch with this person now, and I want to tell you 2 months ago this happened. No, I'm going to tell you in real time, because I think that's when it's really important. I don't want and address it when it's actually occurring. So
yeah,
it's out in the open. So it's because I feel like when you don't do it in real time, it feels like you're hiding something, even when you're possibly not.
And it could sound like a cover up at that point.
Exactly. And
Right.
that the other person is already skeptical now, off the bat.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I remember many years ago. Go ahead, sis.
No, I was just gonna say, you have to check it. Unfortunately, when I was married, it was my ex-husband's. It was a family member. One of his, I won't say, but one of his family members was very specific in the way that he addressed me. And then I checked him. I was hesitant to tell my ex-husband at the time, because for those who know Russell, for those who know him, they know him. He's crazy. But I had to tell him. Fortunately, he listened. But had I not have said anything for him to step to that family member, that family member would have tried it again, without a doubt.
Yeah. Things like that, you got to nip it in the bud.
Quick and in a hurry.
Yeah. I remember this was a long time ago. This was before I married Frank. Before I even met him, as a matter of fact. That tells you how long ago it was, right? And I had a real close friend, someone I had befriended at my very first job out of college as a nurse, and we have become very, very good friends. Her and her husband had a child, and I would babysit the child, and her husband had a brother, and eventually I started dating the brother. Well, one day I called the house. This was before cell phones, obviously. I called the house to speak to my friend, and she wasn't home, but the husband was home, and he made a pass at me. And the minute he did, I said, oh my God. And I said to him, I said, listen, your wife is my good friend. At that point, I'm young then, right? I'm in my early to mid 20s. I said, I am going to treat this conversation as if it never happened, because I don't want anything to ruin my friendship with your wife. I said, so as far as I'm concerned, this never occurred, right? But this is what he did. He went and told his wife that I made a pass at him. And she called and cussed me out. And I just said to her, I said, listen, I understand that's your husband, that you're going to believe what he says. I said, but that is not the way that it went down. And I told her, I said, I'm really, really sorry. Not only did she cuss me out, his brother that I was dating cursed me out too. And I said, so I can imagine this is not the first time he's done something like this, and I don't think it's going to be the last. And one day you're going to realize that you made a mistake.
Wow.
I don't know if the right thing would have been for me to tell her. I was trying to protect the friendship and the marriage by saying to him, I'm going to treat this as if it never happened. So,
I feel like in a situation like that, she wasn't going to believe you anyway, even if you told her. I don't think she would have believed you.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably
I
not.
think
I agree with
the thing with our relationships, I've established that with my friendships as well. Like we keep it 100 with each other. There's nothing to lie about. We try to discuss everything, just so you don't feel like you have to hide anything. So the same way we feel about each other, and me leaving my friends around her, and vice versa. Our friends feel that way about us.
Yeah.
I can leave Rock around my wife and know he's not going to
Cross the line.
cross the line, and
Right.
I won't.
I mean, and it's honestly, it's happened plenty of times where I was around his male friends and he wasn't around. One time he was out of town and his friends protected me through a situation with some other, so we all treat each other the same way that Rock and I treat each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It takes time though, and like you said, maturity to have friends like that. Because had this been 10 years ago, 20 years ago,
Might have been different.
it would have been different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that. And I see Nitty Brim. I'm wondering if that's Kimba, because
It is. What up, bro?
Hey Kimba, how you doing, nephew? I gotta say hi to my nephew. He has so many different names on so many different things because he's so nasty. I love you though, nephew. So anyway, so what would you say to someone who has experienced or is experiencing what we talked about as micro cheating in their relationship? What are some of their options for dealing with it? What would you say?
I would say treat it the same way as regular cheating. You really have to decide whether or not the relationship is worth saving. And then you have to work on a goal or solution. Where do you want to be? But you can't pretend that it's not happening. You can't pretend that it's going to get better because it's like you said, small cheating, or, well, he didn't have sex with her, so I think it's okay for them to hang out. Like, you really have to open your eyes and say, okay, this is still cheating, and you have to let your partner know, and then come up with what your goals are for your relationship and see if they match your partner's.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
there's someone
say,
here that I love you, Toy. I'm not sure who that is, but y'all might know who it is. The name says like that.
I don't know.
Just
I don't know.
put your name in the chat, baby, so they'll know who you are. All right, go ahead. Somebody was just talking. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Would you say something?
I would say, well, in light of the topic, I'm gonna say there's no such thing as micro cheating or regular cheating. Cheating is in the word,
Yeah, yeah.
and if that's what you choose to accept, which most people do, is a choice that they choose to be in these relationships and deal with these type of people, then you're gonna get what you get.
Yeah.
But if you choose to make your relationships prosper and be cheat free, then you deserve that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And she said it's Miss T.
Hey, Misty. we just left her.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in, Misty. I hope you will be a viewer. I would really appreciate that. So while you're there, like, subscribe, share. I would really appreciate that. So anyone else have anything to offer regarding that?
Yeah, I think Oh, sorry, Nicole.
Oh, that's okay. I was gonna say, to me, it's just cheating. It's a cute little name but it's cheating. It's disrespectful in a relationship. If you're in a monogamous relationship, this isn't something that's supposed to be going on. If you're in the marriage, definitely, I don't think that, when I say our vows, that's not what came with the vows. No, you're not supposed to be doing it. Should not be giving time and attention and affection to somebody that's not your spouse. Or not, or if you say you're in a committed, I feel like it's lying. You're saying I respect you, I'm committed to you, and you're not if you're doing all this stuff on the side that I don't know about, or if I do know about it, it's making me distressed, and you're still doing it, trying to make me think it's okay. No. And if somebody's in that kind of relationship, is that what you want? Because I'm looking for a monogamous relationship where we respect each other. Nothing I read in those articles says that you're respecting me, and I'm too old for that. I'm darn near 50 years old. I don't have time for this. I want somebody who loves me, respects me, We have common goals together, and having this other person on the side of our relationship is not what I'm looking for. That's not a relationship to me. That's a whole bunch of drama.
That's it.
I'm not looking for, and it's hurtful. There's nothing good that can come from that behavior.
Absolutely. Good. Thank you, Misty. Go ahead, Liz.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I think the biggest, component of micro cheating or emotional cheating is denial. The person that's doing it is in denial that it is cheating. And that's what we're all getting at here and saying, whatever it is that you're doing is cheating. If it doesn't pass the gut test and, it is cheating. So saying these little small acts are not cheating, or, oh, it's just a friend, or, all of these things, I think you need to work on yourself and address the denial portion of it, and, come clean to your spouse, and really, you and your spouse, your partner, your significant other need to really, set the boundaries and maybe lay out a list, like, this is everything. Every little thing is in fact cheating to me. So those things that you kind of justified in some kind of way in your head, that it's wrong, and it's not going to be something that flies.
Yeah. That's good. Hey, Adrena, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Jack, did you have anything to add?
Having been cheated on and having been the cheater, it's wrong. I don't care which way you look at it, how you try to justify it, it's wrong. If your spouse is mistreating you, or whatever the case may be, make the hard decision. You're either going to go to counseling or you're going to separate. Make the hard decision, because you're being unfair to your spouse, to yourself, and to the other person that's involved. Today I heard someone say, my wife tells me to introduce her as my wife before I introduce her as my girlfriend. And what he was saying is, not only is she my wife, but she's my girlfriend also. Meaning that dating, that putting your best foot forward, like we do at the beginning of a relationship, even after 5-6 years of marriage, they're still doing that. And so if you're in a relationship, if you're married, if you're engaged, if you're dating, continue to put your best foot forward. Being cheated on hurts. Being the cheater hurts. Absolutely. It's not worth it at all. By no way, no shape, no form. It's not worth it. So be honest with yourself. You know what you need. You know what you want. If you cannot give, or if you can't give 100% of yourself to your spouse and your or partner, and they can't give 100% to you, make the hard decision, because love is too important.
Absolutely. I agree with that 1,000%. And I love that last part about giving 100% of yourself, because some people are under the mistaken notion that marriage is 50-50. I don't agree with that. It's 100-100. Each person has to put in 100% of themselves to the relationship. And to make sure, if you are not committed to your partner and you really don't want a monogamous relationship, make sure your partner understands that. Because there are some relationships where one partner thinks they're in a monogamous relationship, but the other person does not. And so that's why you need to have conversations to talk about, well, what is this? What is the relationship going to look like? Are we both going to be monogamous? Do you want this relationship or not? 100% or not? Do you want to entertain other people? There are some individuals who will say it's all right to have another partner, and we got a topic coming up about that too. We're going to talk about the polyamory thing. I heard somebody, I was having a conversation, and somebody said they used the word poly, and I said, well, who is she? Because I didn't know. I didn't know that's what we were talking about. So in a few weeks, we're going to have a conversation about that, because there are some individuals for whom that works. So we're going to talk about that. So I thank you all for being here. So we can agree that the overall consensus is, first of all, micro cheating is cheating. Emotional affair is just as bad as a physical one. And if you are in a relationship where that happens, talk about it, do some work, decide if you want to stay in that relationship and what it's going to look like going forward. I think Toya said something very key is to not ignore it, because we, especially as women, we are very good at ignoring red flags and ignoring signals and thinking that it's just going to go away and pushing it under the rug. It doesn't work like that, because it'll only get worse as it continues. It does not get better if it's not addressed. So yeah, micro cheating is cheating. So thank you all again, and come back and join us next week where we're going to talk about, the topic is masculine versus toxic masculinity. So I think that's going to be a great conversation as well. So again, I thank you. I love you guys. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. That's the trifecta, right? Is that the right word to use?
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like, subscribe, and share. And also, I just want to let everyone know that underneath the description, if you are on YouTube, will be a link for everyone who has a business, has a ministry, has anything at all going on. Their links will be underneath that description. Okay, so I love you guys, and I will. Oh, thank you, Miss T. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope I see you next week, girl. So anyway, I'll see y'all. Love ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.